Alright guys, episode 1.2 already. Today's gonna be really dope. We got a lot of cool stuff to do. Like mentioned in the previous video, we're gonna make the body, which includes the torso and the legs, as well as the arms. So yeah, it's gonna be really dope. And something that's really nice is that we're basically gonna be doing what we did in the previous episode, but we're gonna do it more. So you guys are gonna be able to practice, and yeah, this is overall gonna be a good practice to do the things, the shortcuts, and the actions that we did in the previous video. So yeah, this episode is gonna be quite important, and we're gonna be able to complete the base mesh this episode. That's gonna be just absolutely great. So let's just get started. Wait, I need to shout out my Patreon again, because you know it'll be so cool if you guys could support me there. 3 tiers, pick whatever you like, whatever you can afford, if possible, and if you can help, that's great. If not, the content will always be free. So yeah, thank you guys. All right, let's get started. So once again, I accidentally deleted the blend file, so I had to quickly recreate it, but you know that only takes 5 seconds. So yeah, what we need to do is first delete this beautiful text. I don't think you guys have that, so don't worry. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna G and then Z. Wait a minute, there is no add-on showing me text. 1 second, guys, I gotta fix that. All right, I got it working. Yeah, so first thing we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna grab our head and we're gonna press G. And then we're going to press Z. I'm going to bring this up a little bit because we need to create the body underneath it. So basically we need to create a new mesh. But I like the fact that this one already has the mirror modifier, which you guys can see over here. It's already on there. I don't really want to create something new. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go in edit mode. And then with face select, number 3, I'm gonna click the bottom one. Then I'm gonna do something that I don't think we've done before, which is Shift D. And then if you move it around, you can see that you have a duplicate. So I'm gonna press Z and bring it just down a little bit. Now, this needs to be its own object. And if I press Tab again, it goes back into object mode. So you can see that it's still part of the head. So let's fix that. What I'm gonna do with the face selected, I'm gonna press P, and when you press that, you can see that you get the separate menu. Now we want to separate this by the things that we have selected. And now if I go to object mode again, you can see that I can choose between these two. So to keep things easy, I'm just gonna rename this to head, double click in the hierarchy, and with this one selected, I'm gonna call this body. And this exact thing that we've done, we're also gonna have to do for the arms at some point. So yeah, keep that in mind. Cool. So then I'm gonna go back in edit mode, and I need my reference real quick. Yep, over here. So what we need to do is we need to make a small neck. So I'm gonna go to edge select mode, or number 2. Gonna grab the outer one. Gonna grab G and X. X. Sorry, keyboard didn't work. I'm gonna press 1 on the numpad so that I go into the front view. And that's gonna help me to better align this a little bit. You can also press 1. I feel like you can then see a little bit better where the vertices are. Alright, so this is perfect. And I'm gonna press numpad 3. Go to the side. You can see it's way too long for a neck. So I'm gonna do S for scaling, Y to restrain it to the Y-axis. And I'm gonna bring it down to around here. Now, as you can see, I did a little mistake. I only grabbed the front two. I'm gonna press Ctrl Z and numpad 3 to go back into the view. I'm I'm gonna press Z and go into wireframe. And now if I select everything, you'll see that now everything is selected. I'm gonna press S and Y again. Scale it down. Perfect. And then I'm gonna do G and Z. I'll bring it up into the head. Just a little bit more. And then I'm gonna extrude it with E. Also on the Z axis. Now I can see that the neck is not that long. It's like this. Alright, so if you have this, something like this, that would be great. This would be awesome. Then I'm going to press Z again and go into solid mode. And then I'm gonna extrude it again. So Z. Go in front mode, so numpad 1. Now we kind of have to check how long this needs to be. So I see that it's almost the same size as the head. So, you know, if I make a little notation, the head, let's just say that's 1. And then the torso up until the legs also needs to be roughly 1. Maybe a little bit more, like 1.2. So keep dragging that down. What we also can do is, you know, grab our reference. Just gonna reset the rotation real quick. And put it next to the guy, I guess. So like this. Then we can also kind of cheat a little. Yes, there we go. I think this is about right. A bit smaller. So then we have our torso. What we need to do then is we need to make it thicker. So we're gonna grab this part, bring it outward. Same goes for the back. Pressing E, extrude. Cool. Then we're gonna make the shoulders. Gonna grab, click and drag. If this doesn't work, by the way, you need to change this mode. You can click and hold and you can change this and bring it to select box. Yeah, and then we're gonna extrude our shoulder out, and that one comes to around here. So I'm gonna do that too. I'm gonna press X to make sure everything works well. Around here would look good. All right, there we go. So now we have a little torso, which is nice. And don't worry, if something feels a little bit off, we can always change it. So now all we have to do is get the legs. So in order to do that, we're gonna have to extrude here, but as you can see, you know, the legs are a little bit, this is too small. Like it needs to be just a little gap here. So we need it, we need this edge over here, basically. So that's two ways we can do this again. We can either do the Ctrl R, so Ctrl R, and then have a loop cut here that we can move around. What's this? Oh, this is not good. Wait guys, we made a little mistake. Let's just cancel this operation, Ctrl Z. So something happened here. And as you can see, it's not really looking too hot. This edge not going all the way around. I wonder how that happened. Doesn't matter, we can just click these two buttons and press J. There we go. Just doing a little bit of checking if there's no overlap or anything. Perfect. J is if you have 2 points on a mesh, you can then make a line between those two points. It'll just make a straight line, goes through all the lines. Can be useful sometimes. It definitely can. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab those 2 points and we're gonna press G and X and we're gonna move them over to here. Oh, this looks about right. Then we're grabbing the legs. We're gonna go in front mode again and then we just drag them down to here. gonna have to be a bit smaller. Something else I'm noticing is they go inwards, right? They are not straight. So we're gonna do that too. We're gonna grab the outer edges here. And then GX to make them smaller. And I can see that they here have like 2 loop cuts, or at least one. So we're gonna grab these 2 and bring them in a little bit with G and X as well. All right, cool. So now we have the body. I think that was pretty easy, right? So now all we need to do is just kind of validate how accurate this is with the reference. Like, are there any things we might want to change? Like, for example, I maybe feel that the character is too big in the y-axis, so I would then select everything and bring it down a little, you know, to make it a bit thinner. That's up to you. So here would be the moment where you would kind of like validate. Gonna bring this one down also just a little bit. Oh, I'm selecting all sorts of things. I, by the way, see another error here. You gotta fix that. Bring this down just a little bit. What did I do here that went wrong? Okay, so I don't exactly know what I did wrong here, but I'm just gonna delete these faces here. Delete face, and then I might be able to better see what's going on. So we got like a triangle here. That's not good. So delete the triangle. And over here, there's a triangle or overlapping triangle as well. Delete. And now what we can do really easily is press 2, click the outer edge, and then just press F once at least. I see what's causing the problem. As you can see, there's a vertex here. That one needs to go. That's causing not, you know, the top has 1, 2, and this one has 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna right click and dissolve. Don't delete it, because if you delete it, then this part will be deleted as well. Dissolve just means like removing it without harming the edge. So if I do this again, click F and F again, but this time I will have to click the ones around here as well. Okay, this is not working properly. Why is this happening? Let's see. Oh wait, I can see something. Okay, so look guys, this is very important in Blender, right? Or in any 3D software. Something's not going right. Just try to figure out like, hey, what kind of behavior do I see that's not correct? So when I bring this edge down, there's another thing showing up here, which is like, what? Which means that here there are 2 overlapping vertices. So, not a problem. We figured out what the problem is. Now we just have to fix it. So what I'm gonna do is press A, select everything. And then I'm gonna go to Mesh, Clean Up, and then I'm gonna do Merge by Distance. And as you can see, 1 vertex got removed. And I think now we only have 1, and let's try this again. Beautiful. So that was a little error. I had to kind of, you know, on the spot fix or figure out what the problem is and fix it. But that's just how making 3D art is, right? Like, things will happen, shit will happen. Just gotta kind of, you know, deal with it a little bit. So something else I'm noticing is the legs, and you gotta look really closely, is the legs also are a little bit smaller in terms of the width. So we gotta like scale it like this. If you alt click an edge loop, you will select the whole thing. So alt click will select it. I'm gonna scale it down a little bit as well. There we go. That looks already much better. Looking at this, I feel like this is actually almost a perfect square. Like this. Yes, I'm really liking this. This needs to be a bit less chunky. All right, perfect. I'm loving this. Yeah, I think we're getting there. We're getting there, definitely. Let's see. Yeah, I think we're in a really good spot here. So, I'm saving. Control S. Yeah, let's see. By the way, I'm noticing that there's like 2 indicators here. I didn't really know which add-on I had enabled. Like, I'm using shortcut VUR, really useful add-on, but I'm apparently also using another one. What's on the left? It's whatever. Alright guys, so now we just need to add some arms. And this is gonna be a little bit tricky because arms obviously need to be animated and rigged. First rigged and then animated. And I'm looking at this character over here. And I'm thinking like, how did he or she make these arms? And I have a feeling that the arms are not connected to the mesh. I have a feeling it goes like this, inside the mesh. And that's kind of the way that's being done. If we maybe zoom in a little bit, we can... Oh. If we zoom in, we can maybe see a little bit where the edges are. I have a feeling it's not going to be that much edges. I have a feeling there's going to be like 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. I think that's all there is to the arms, actually. So that's going to be really easy for us. Yeah. Cool. All right, let's try to do that. So, obviously, when you're posing a character like this, let's just, by the way, grab everything and bring it to the line here. So it's nicely centered and correctly aligned with the x-axis. Yeah, so we need to make sure that the character is easy to rig. So something, people use in the game industry is they pose it in either an A pose or a T pose. And those pose names kind of refer to where the arms will be if you pose them. That's why if you play a video game and you see people standing like that, it's like the game doesn't know which animation to play, so it's just going back to its default state. Like for example, Cyberpunk, you had that quite a bit. Both techniques are fine. The T pose is great, but with the A pose, you put a little bit less stretchiness on the arms. So if your character doesn't have to have his arms up here, an A pose would be the way to go. In our case, that's the case because, we don't want the hands to go through the head, right? Like, that would not be good. So we're gonna have to place the arms like this. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're gonna do the same thing. Excuse me. We're gonna select the mesh we want to. Kind of use a little bit here. And we're gonna click this in face select, so number 3. Gonna click this face and we're gonna do the Shift D and have a duplication. Gonna press X to constrain it a little bit to here, and then P to separate it. Beautiful. Back into object mode. Then we need to click our arms to edit them. Cool. So I'm gonna go to numpad 3 to go to the side view. Edit. I'm gonna press the bottom edge and G and Z. Gotta make this a square. So, you can see this is not straight. Like, how can we make this perfectly straight, right? Like, that's something I was wondering when I was starting as well, often. So what you can do is you can scale and then press Z. So you're scaling on the Z axis, and then you press 1 on the numpad, and then you press enter. Oh. Okay. Sorry, I pressed the wrong buttons. It's not 1, it's 0. So you have to 0 them out. So you do S, C, and then numpad 0 will level them out. So if you press 0, you're like, okay, make them equal to the middle point. And then press enter. So now we have somewhat of a perfect square, I would say. And now what we can do, we can just grab the face. We can extrude it once into a cube. Gonna go into front view like this. Oh, GX. Then we're gonna extrude the forearm. And then we're gonna extrude the rest of the hand. Go. And what I can see is they added an edge loop here. And then they did this to kind of hint that the hand is slightly different. Something else I'm noticing when I'm looking at the reference is that, you know, it's not perfect. It's like they made it smaller to be more like an arm. So we're gonna do that too. So select everything and then scale Z and then just a little bit. Get a little bit thinner. All right, cool. So with everything selected, all we have to do is bring them in here. There we go. And then we can go into object mode. All right, we have our character, guys. Look how cute this looks. So yeah, so basically what I would do right now, at some point, I guess, is to check if I've positioned the hands correctly. Oh, by the way, we did something wrong, guys. What have I done? Accidentally, I made a T-pose. I'm really sorry. That's something I tend to do with my characters because most of my characters don't have a ginormous head. So what we're gonna do, guys, is we're gonna, when everything's selected, we're gonna R, rotate it, then we're gonna bring it in like this. And this is actually really good that we do this because if you guys look, the arms are way too big. Look, it's coming to his legs. So what we're gonna do to fix this a little bit, we're gonna do Ctrl Z so we get back to the T-pose. And then we're gonna scale on the X. Gonna make it smaller. Then we bring it to here. R, Y, do it 90 degrees. And then if I now put it next to his head, yeah, this is much better. So technically speaking, it should kind of come here. I feel like the torso is a little too high, so I'm gonna cancel this. Go into object mode. Then I'm gonna press Z to wireframe. I'm gonna bring this just a little bit down. And then this one as well, because it needs to be in the center, right? Like the knee is always like kind of in the middle. So if you have this, you want it to be roughly in the center. Okay, I think this looks a little bit better. Z to solid and back to the arms through object modes. Okay, so we're gonna rotate this on the y-axis. We're gonna rotate it minus 45. We're gonna bring this in. All right. Let's quickly go into object mode. View this a little bit. It's like almost connected to the shoulder. So it can go up just a little bit. This. Perfect. All right, cool, guys. I think that's it. We made our character. The details, like the eyes and stuff, also being textured, guys. So don't worry about that. Yeah, this was the base mesh. In the next episode, we're gonna make potential details like hair or beard, that sort of stuff. And then I think we're gonna also have to at some point make some weapons, you know, like you know, our character needs to be able to slash something around. So yeah, we're gonna do that stuff. We're also gonna unwrap this this boy so that we can texture it. That's also gonna be a huge chunk of the tutorial because I'm not necessarily the best in drawing. I can draw, but I wouldn't say I'm like, some people can just draw so much better than me, and that's totally fine. But you know, I can show you guys a little bit how it works. So I'm gonna save this file. I'm also gonna put that on the Google Drive with the what's it called? The Adobe Xd file I made, the style guide. That's there as well. So yeah, good stuff, guys. Be sure to check my Patreon and like and subscribe. And yeah, have a good day. Bye bye.